Alright, Brain, where are we going?
Iceland!
Back here.
Whoa! Whoa! No, Willie, hold on. I'm
Keep words away from.
It's just crazy to think like how much time we've spent together.
The fact that I even have relatives even my age, not to mention that live close to me, that grew up with me, and above all that are all guys. Like guys are literally like an actual phenomenon. Like,
Most of our biggest life's achievements we've all done together.
Yeah.
Like, which is insane.
Me, Mike, and Brandon, we're all Eagle Scouts, and we're all eagled out of the same scout troops.
And then Aaron, Brandon, Zach, and I, we all graduated from the same place.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Iceland, here we come.
Yeah.
No way.
We're going to Iceland for 10 days on a road trip. We're going to go all around the entire road ring and then some of the western fjords of Iceland.
It's probably make the last time the 5 of us can do something for a while, so that's gonna be cool.
The last time all 5 of us will be available to go on a huge trip like this.
Today flight time is 5 hours and 45 minutes.
Honestly, the thing I'm most looking forward to is just catching up with all the guys. Like we all go our separate ways when school year starts, and this week 10 days.
We're in Iceland, woo! Woo!
We're going to Port Puffin land, baby. Better steal me a puffin.
So, to make sure we could cover the entire 1,300-mile drive in just 10 days, we broke up the trip into 3 parts. The first part would be spent driving to the West Fjords to a huge bird sanctuary where we would see puffins. Next, we would travel to Lake Maivaden to explore caves and hot springs. Finally, we would drive down the coast to Skaftafell National Park to explore the ice glaciers and also hike. Then we would drive back to Reyjkavik for our flight home. Of course, while driving, we'll be exploring any cool locations that we see.
There was these like little waterfalls that we saw from the road. Oh my gosh, like we need to check that out. Brandon like pulled off at like the nearest pull off. That's when the adventure happened.
Could not have parked closer.
It's so wet.
It's so wet.
So wet.
And we just ran through the flowers. This was a really crappy decision. From like crotch down was just soaked. Everyone was wearing like their hiking stuff, all just totally soaked.
And then after that, we packed back up and we drove and drove and drove until about like 11 o'clock at night, and you can't see the difference because the light changed, so that was pretty neat.
We stopped at a food mart on the way, and we got a brick.
We're not really sure what it is. It's kind of like an oatmeal bar mixed with like pumpkin bread or something. It's become the tradition of the trip now to partake in the brick.
Pulled off, got a campsite.
Yeah, how do we
I want to have this. Yo, why is every tent different?
Because of mac and cheese and hot dogs, which was really hit the spot.
Yeah, boy. We chefing.
We all smoked some cigarettes. Michael smoked his pipe, and Zach didn't smoke anything because he has asthma.
Are you videoing it? What are you doing?
And we jumped to the tent, all 5 of us in a 3-person tent.
So we're all here in the tent, ready to go to bed. So first day in Iceland was a success.
I don't know if this can go back to the seminary, and this is
We're ready for the next day.
We just woke up. It's like apparently 4 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, so we have like a little puddle over here. All of Zach's stuff soaking wet. So I think he's trying to get naked in the car and like fix that.
All our stuff outside is soaking wet that we were trying to dry.
Like my shoes are just buckets of water right now.
The puddle.
I got the keys from Brandon and went to the car. Mike joined me like 2 minutes later. We both decided we couldn't sleep, so we decided to go hike up to this waterfall that we were camping under. The only trees you'll ever see in Iceland, right here in our backyard. Oh my goodness. We got up to the cliff and we got to sit down and talk a lot. That was really good. The waterfall was beautiful. It was really gorgeous. We came back and Brandon, Aaron, and Joe were all awake and ready to go.
Aaron, Joe, and I slept for almost 11 hours, so that was pretty crazy. I've never slept that long in my life.
Our goal for the day was to end up right near the bird sanctuary, where we'd be visiting the next day. So it would be about an 8-hour drive through the West Fjords.
We've literally just been driving the entire day and then just making the best out of our stops. where every once in a while we'll just see something crazy. We saw this one, it was a monstrous crevice inside of a cliff face. The whole time it's just like you're in awe.
I saw a waterfall, so I was like, hey, let's go up there.
Pull off on this little like gravel road. That was a fantastic decision. We ended up seeing Joe and Zach way off in the distance. So they were going over the waterfall, and Brandon Mike just hung back and ended up apparently having a really good conversation, which is like, we got 10 days with all the cousins, so we're all gonna be catching up. And I think it's awesome when all the guys just like catch up with one another. It's been so long since we've had like really good conversations.
The waterfall turned out to be like 1.5 miles off-road, in which I had to hike. And then Joe and I went over and hiked up to the waterfall.
By that time, our first pastry brick was gone, so we bought 2 more pastry bricks. The one tastes like fig Newton, it's awful.
After that, we went to a really cool coastal town to try and find dinner and also for a place to dry our clothes.
We thought we would find a laundry machine because we got screwed over by the rain.
They didn't have laundry facilities. Apparently they don't use dryers, so I guess we're just gonna strap the pants on the roof again tomorrow. But yeah, then we just kept driving. Like literally every time you come around a bend or go up a mountain or even just drive along the road, you just look out the window and you're like, well, holy smokes, there's another incredible view. Like the scenery looks like Rohan from Lord of the Rings movies. You just take it in. Mike's been awake for too long.
Wind, water.
Last time we went camping, we got rained on because people set up a tent.
Here we are at camp number 2, the base of 2 mountains. They're like fingers.
The sun doesn't set ever, so the darkest it gets is what you're looking at right now. Between 12 o'clock and 4 a.m. is really the darkest it gets right now.
10 degrees out. I'm pretty sure that's what I saw the sign say.
Yeah, doing more. Anyone bring a razor? And then here we are now, right near the finger, the first of the fjords. Over there, following this finger all the way down, which we're gonna be tomorrow morning, and that is where the puffins are. And I'm gonna catch a damn puffin when I get there. I'm gonna caught.
Many
puffins. Bags of puffins.
Yes.
Puffins will be coming back to the United States. We're going to Port Puffin Land, baby. Better steal me a puffin. The life of a puffin is strenuous. They must search for food around the clock. The children starving. Only they tell their own fate. As you can see, he's also hiding in the crevasse to escape the wind. Whereas over there, just shooting the brains out. As you can see, that puffin has struggles swimming. It's just in David Attenborough, BBC. good? Yeah. But we just climbed up probably some 1,000 feet and saw a ridiculous amount of puffins. My finger was this close from touching a puffin at the very end. We're gonna head to our first hostel and then figure it out from there.
We've been going through the fjords. Pretty cloudy most of the day. And then we just pulled out for this one waterfall, and it like got really sunny for a little bit, and the waterfall was gorgeous, green mountains, and you could see the waterfall like cutting its way through the valley. That one made me like really happy.
Never been out of the country, so seeing all like the countryside, all of this, it's just been like absolutely amazing. Every single shot, every single turn we're driving, looking out the window, and it's just an unreal scene of just like pure, like natural beauty.
From now on, it's basically just a ring road, right?
I've seen waterfalls. I've gone camping.
No more dirt roads, crazy cliffs while we're driving.
Yeah.
No side rails or anything.
Well, theoretically.
Theoretically. We put how many miles on the car, Brandon?
Actually, we're 1,000 miles into the trip on the car.
1,000 kilometers.
1,000 kilometers, which is like 600 something miles. But yeah, one meal and probably like 6 hours of sleep. I'd say we're doing pretty good. Yeah. Pretty damn good. Yeah. Pretty damn good. So this is day 3.
Yep. Getting ready for the next stretch.
Good night.
Alright. Good night, buddy.
We woke up, kind of just were in a frenzy to go.
Spirits are high. Stomachs are empty.
How did it get low?
Alright. So we got in the car, went to a gas station, filled up for the day, and took off.
Pumped gas.
The goal of day 4 was to end up at Lake Maivaden, which was our second big destination.
We were just driving for, it was like probably 8 hours of driving.
We didn't have a time crunch. We were able to stop off a lot more.
We visited some of the black beaches of Iceland where there are seals.
We passed these wild horses like stampeding through the road.
We ended up finding ourselves at another waterfall. This one was really jagged, more like Mordor-esque.
And then we hiked up this little ridge line just to get a better view.
And we all leaned backwards and
And we kept trying to find a spot to pull off and cook our food. So our problem was we couldn't find any areas that weren't windy and had water, because we also needed water to boil. And we're driving, and all of a sudden I see the sign that says, "My Mama's Bakery and Restaurant." I was like, boys, we're stopping there.
Oh, the dog.
Is this not a restaurant? It's a nice dog. It's a cute little puppy. Pretty puppy.
should we go in
I'm just gonna
and like turn around, like do a casual turnaround?
Like we went the wrong way.
Just by chance we saw the owner and we talked to him and we were like, hey, is this the inn? And he's like, yeah, come on in.
Sat down, looked at the menu, and the guy we met was really genuine, really kind. We ordered some food. I got some lamb.
I also got lamb.
Delicioso. When we were done, we asked him, we were like, hey, like, this is a pretty cool gig you got going. Do you care if we interview you? And the guy was just like, he was totally down for an interview. We never officially asked, but what's your name?
My name is Johan Jakobsson.
Were you raised in Iceland?
I am born in Iceland, in Reyjkavik. I am an old man from 1948. Wow. So I moved to this area to work in my car business when I was tired of always staying in the same house. I go to my hobby, that was travel in Iceland on my own deep. So I have traveled with people everywhere in Iceland on the highland. 2009, I rent this house here, and that was my dream to do something more in travel business. His name is very strange, Himnasvalir, This meaning you sit out or look on the earth.
Like, have you traveled the whole island?
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge?
I know Iceland 100% well.
Okay.
All places on the highland. And people like you, they teach me very much about Iceland. Because I live here, I don't see everything is outside. It's normal for me. People who came here, they teach me to see the small things. Stones, Northern Light. Now I am going to look up. Oh, it's Northern Light this evening.
Have you ever traveled outside of Iceland?
Yes, a little bit. To Norway, to fighting with people in Norway on a ski. Winter time. I was very bad. Always the last one. I'm okay.
Out of all the things you've ever collected throughout your entire life here, what is the one thing that you prize the most?
We have everything in Iceland. We have freedom, we have good weather, we have everything in Iceland. We have good life. Only 1% of Icelandic people don't have job. Most important in life is happiness. Nothing else. Other things is around you. So if you have a family later, that is number one in life. And kids. I have I have 2 kids. My mother teach me to pray. So I do it every evening before I go to sleep. Follow me always. That is very good. That is most important in life, in Iceland. I see you was praying for you. That's very good.
Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome. Might have been my highlight of the trip. Because he was just so authentic and he really felt like the spirit of Iceland. He was just an honest, hard-working dude that'd been here his whole life. He just like found his little nook in the world and he just lived it to its fullest.
That was really special.
It was good. It was very good.
It's just crazy to think about how the best parts of the trip so far have been completely by accident.
Driving here kind of feels like life. We have all these planned out stops and you have your whole future planned out in life and you don't have to stop at any of them. Like, they're all good ideas and there's bad ideas to stop places, to take a break somewhere. It's like you can just skip any of it at any time or stay there for as long as you want. I just think that's beautiful. I think it's cool.
We had made it to Lake Mavik that night, and we began our nightly ritual of trying to find a campsite.
Tensions are running high. We can't find a parking spot to sleep.
Try over here in the grass.
Luckily, we found our spot. We had set up camp, started making food. It is now 1:15 in the morning. Aaron's got the priest's drawers down. All of a sudden, these 2 dudes drove up in a car, pull over and say, "This is private property, you have to get off, like now." So we left. Then we went and we're driving for another probably about 30 minutes to find another spot. Now it's like 2 in the morning.
We staked up on our like gravel.
Oh look, I'm holding Michael's camera. I'm not gonna film it anymore. Oh, look all over the place.
Expecting to have like a real screwed up night and be pissed in the morning, but we were actually all just good. It was a good night.
Day 5, wake up in the morning and we got attacked by a swarm of flies. This lake, Mavik, is a home to millions upon millions of these flies that literally are attracted to heat.
Yeah.
So our black car was swarming in flies. When we got out of the tent, flies everywhere on us, like attacking us. You could not.
So that really kind of ruined our plans because there's a lot of cool locations there. We were tired and we just did not want to spend a day battling like actual clouds of flies.
We booked it. We got out of there.
Where'd you go?
Came across this massive blue hot spring. So we get out of the car and the first thing that hits us is the smell. Oh my god.
Horrible.
That smell was awful. It was like worse than rotten eggs.
But it wasn't as bad as the next hot springs over the valley.
It reeked. It was horrendous. It smelled so bad. It was like salt. It was like rotten eggs and like poop. Looked pretty cool though.
That whole experience in that valley was kind of not great, honestly. Once we had finished seeing pretty much everything in the area surrounding Lake Mybaden that wasn't infested with flies, we continued our trek towards our next hostel. It was really disappointing not to be able to spend more time there, especially for Zach. Lake Mybaden was the place he was looking forward to the most, but still, it didn't waver his excitement or enthusiasm for the rest of the trip. I really admired that positive and forward-moving attitude. We were definitely pretty worn out from the night before, but thankfully all the years of us growing up together really paid off as we came together as a cohesive team. Brandon always made sure that we were getting where we needed to go. He always made it a priority to stop off at any location that someone pointed out, even if the other guys weren't really interested in it. Aaron, as always, was cool, calm, and collected. In the face of any kind of disagreement or quarrel, which of course will come up when you're spending 10 days in a car, he never picked sides and always made sure that everyone was getting along. Joe kept us entertained with his sardonic sense of humor and his reactions to any manner of situations or encounters that we had. And then I just annoyed everyone by sticking a camera in their face 24/7. Our group isn't perfect, but I think we all stepped up to the plate when challenges or problems arose, and we came out of it with a stronger bond than ever.
And after that, we were climbing up, getting ready to go to our hostel. We're at the top of the mountain, and all of a sudden, it's just ice on top of the water. Like you can see the water, but then the ice and snow everywhere, and it's like a completely new environment that we just like drove into because we crested a hill. Get down here to the town.
4 beds, which has been, honestly, this is the best we'll probably sleep the entire time because they have 4 nice beds and it's like comfy and it's big.
3 showers, bathrooms.
There's a dryer.
There is a
dryer. We have not been able to find a dryer since day 1, actually, because day 1 we got soaking wet and couldn't find a dryer.
Brandon, our chef, made some fantastic spaghetti dinner that was very nourishing and lifted our spirits a lot. And now we're ready for the later half of our trip. Our next big destination was Skaftafell National Park. We also decided that we wanted to have a beach day.
Bumping to some funk.
Like this should be what like people think of when they think of like American tourists. Like listen to like fun music and have a good time with friends.
You like sleep a lot. Dude, that feels like skin.
Like a nice little alcove on one rock, which is really nice. Just like looking over the ocean, hearing the waves, sitting on rock. That was really peaceful. Like driving, looking for a spot to like pull off and cook dinner, and then there was like a big grove of trees that we passed. So Brandon and Mike were like, "Yo, we're pulling over because we gotta get Aaron some trees."
Aaron Trudell.
It is not almost natural environment.
Aaron Trudell.
Here we have a live form. I'm not quite sure what he's gonna do yet, but we're watching as we speak.
They're just wonderful, beautiful things that really just bring out my soul. I just feel it. Feel it deep down. These things are magical. To see some trees was very nice.
We did a massive dinner, just mac and cheese there and hot dogs.
All right, Brandon, can you talk me through your process here?
So we got some mac and cheese, boys. First-step process.
At this point, the day was going really well. It was nice and sunny, but it started to get a little cloudy when we were at that forest location. So as we kept driving, the weather got worse and worse and worse, and we arrived at a cool black beach.
Using action shots.
Action shot, bitches!
So we get on the beach, and the waves are crashing up really high, and it's this strange like pebble sand. It wasn't black sand, it was just like black pebble, really fine, small. and we're looking around, and I'm with a camera, and I'm trying to get like a slow-mo, like pebbles dropping down kind of shot.
Oh, oh my gosh! Are you kidding me? Aaron, you're. Oh gosh!
I was completely the other way.
Yeah.
Up to this point in the trip, we had a lot of wet clothes and wet boots that we'd only just dried.
Literally this morning, we cleaned everything. Oh my god. Adventure part 2.
As we started driving down, we couldn't find anywhere decent to pull off, so we just kept driving.
So we drove for quite a while, just kind of like listening to music, having a good time. Thursday was one of the best days. And we started throwing rocks at glaciers.
Everyone else is sitting there taking pictures, and we're the guys in the background just like trying to smash them and jump on them and stuff, you know, like not normal.
They're gonna get them out like they hurt.
Yeah. The night makes us do strange things.
Then it was pretty late by the time we got to Skaftafell, which was where, well, we were looking for camping spots on the way, and so we were driving, and it was like, oh, camping spot.
What? It's like 7,800 for a tent.
Wait, what is it?
7,800 for a tent.
7,800?
So it's like 78 bucks.
Oh my god.
For a tent spot?
It's 1,500 per person.
For a tent spot?
Yeah.
Well, that's not happening. So we were looking for spots to like pull off the side of the road, but it was kind of wet and rainy, so we were like, all right, well, we don't really want to pitch the tent. Well, you just have to sleep in the car, so let's just find somewhere to sleep in the car. So we ended up driving all the way to Skaftafell.
But they have a campsite there, and we just pulled in. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. We pull in, park all the way in the back. No one's gonna see us.
Possibly like the second worst sleep I've ever had in my life. It was so bad. Literally, it was 5 dudes jammed in a steamy car with all of our wet clothes. And I'm sitting there like...
Someone knocks on our door. And he's asking if we've paid.
They were like, did you get in late? And we were like, yeah, like a couple hours ago. So, and they were like, oh, okay.
And they did the calculations. It was like 70 bucks for us like sleeping in the car for like 5 hours.
They're like, we'd be staying the night too, and we were like, no thank you. So I handed them my card, and they wanted 70 bucks.
Which that kind of set the mood for Friday, and we were kind of tired and kind of low morale.
There were some glaciers we had passed the night before, so we drove out to those glaciers. And then we decided to hike up to a waterfall, a massive waterfall in the national park.
They have these neat, like, geometric shapes. We've seen a lot of waterfalls, and each one is totally different, honestly. The waterfall itself was neat, but it was more of like the surrounding rocks that made it cool.
Michael, on our way down, decided to take a swim in the river.
One.
Just kind of like kicked back, relaxed. Like I think me and Brandon dozed off. I think Michael might have dozed off a little bit as well. Then we all loaded up with the car.
We just drove around for a long time looking for a good spot to camp.
We were looking for parking. We came to a waterfall, Saley Falls waterfall, but there were bugs everywhere, and the renting a campsite was too much.
So we have to make a decision right now if we are deciding to sleep on the side of the road tonight.
Honestly, if we're gonna get a hostel for 2 more nights, we should tally the money we spent now. Looking good, boys.
Really? How bad? Where are we at with day?
So yeah, we're at 905 apiece. Which actually is not bad. So if 1,000 is like the end total for all of us to spend, that would mean that we have 100 apiece each left.
So it's like, if we're camping, the hard part is finding a spot to camp.
I guess we just keep driving, find a spot.
Finish off some of the booze we got after smokes. Just relax for the evening.
Level ye old heads.
Level ye old heads.
Let's go find a pull off.
Oh, we've driven 2,500 kilometers.
So we just drove until we found a spot that we could pull off and not get people angry at us. And then me, Brandon, Zach, and Mike ended up staying up a little bit, a good bit later, I guess. Just talking.
It started raining in the middle of the night. We were all soaking wet, so we just threw it all into the car and started driving.
We didn't really do much Saturday. We'd already passed Vic. We were almost at Reyjkavik, going like into town to get food. So we got the subway.
America. Sandwiches.
Got a hostel.
A little chill. Everyone stayed up. Either they stayed up and talked, or they went to bed. It was kind of just like a personal night.
Day 9 was our last official day in Iceland, our last full day.
We all woke up at around 8:30, made breakfast.
A big breakfast. And then we hit the trail for a glimmer,
which is the highest waterfall in Iceland.
It said it was about a 3-hour hike there, and then a 3-hour hike back, so we were expecting like 6 hours. We actually got to the waterfall in about an hour. But then because we were us, we were like, all right, well, we're gonna go past the waterfall. So
we got past the waterfall. We got past the flat areas where the water was pouring down into the waterfall. Let's push on, let's push on, let's go to the peak, let's go to the peak.
So we hiked 3 hours all the way up to the peak of one of the mountains surrounding the waterfall.
I think we were literally like 4,000 or 5,000 feet above sea level, and it was like we were super, super high up.
Rough going, actually hiking up, and it was pretty steep.
It was rather treacherous with the loose, gravelly terrain, snow and moss.
The altitude really started hitting.
The air was crazy thin up there.
We were on level with the clouds, and I started to get altitude sickness. Like I was starting to feel dizzy. I couldn't feel my fingertips, and just barely started to get my sight back because my eyes had been spazzing out.
Every 10 feet we were stopping to catch our breath, to let our muscles relax. We were starting to feel fatigue.
We were determined to get to the top of that mountain. There were so many times, and it was not looking promising, and we'd find another way up.
Ridge after ridge, because every time when you're looking up, it just looks like it's right there, and it's not. And we just keep going.
Very tiring, but it was very rewarding in the end, and super cool. The view was absolutely incredible. It's just awesome to be able to reconnect with cousins and talk to them and figure out how they're doing and realize that everyone's good, and I don't have to worry about them so much. Yeah, there's been some big changes, and we've all changed and we've all matured in different ways, but they're all still my cousins. They're all so great dudes.
Finally peaked a mountain, and it just kind of showed what we were capable of doing, and together, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
I actually think we did every single thing that Iceland has to offer. We saw pretty much every big waterfall. We saw the black beaches. We saw all of their wildlife. We camped out. We climbed a peak.
There's certain moments when I got to like spend time and talk with these guys. The landscape just really helps open up. It's kind of hard not to talk deep thoughts and personal stuff, and we had some really good conversations during the trip.
I'm so honored to have done this with these guys. And just the way the trip started with us being wet and having to strap our stuff to the top of the roof and ended it with us being wet.
This whole trip has been a huge blessing, and I think we're all gonna look back on it with very fond memories and laugh at all the stupid things we've done and laugh at all the good times we've had. And I think this will be a memory that we really cherish.
So all in all, we spent $3,944
between 5 people
for the entire trip, including all of our airfare, baggage, tents, hostels, car, everything, including food. I think Iceland and Switzerland are the two most expensive countries on Earth, and I think Iceland probably is #1.
Yeah, so
drove double the miles. We were originally going to drive like 800 miles to 1,000, but we went up to the West Fjords, and it was kind of hard to calculate that before the trip because we weren't sure which roads we were going to take.
Yeah, exactly.
So by the end of it, including all the side turns and detours and ramp stuff,
turning around.
Yeah, we drove like 3,000 kilometers.
So pretty much 2,000 miles.
Yeah.
This trip was perfect for this trip, but like next time I feel like I would like to have more relaxing time to actually like go. And we were in Reyjkavik for like 2 days, I'd say. But yeah, how much of it did we actually get to walk around and see and like talk to people? Like we really didn't get to experience it. It was just us like bustling around to like the cathedral and then like back to the hostel to fall asleep.
Yeah, I think it would have been cool to like actually engage the culture more, talk to more people, and just kind of get a feel for the whole place. Because like we joked around that had a communist government, but like we have no idea what their government structure is.
I mean,
like we don't.
Their burgers were $25.
We spent like 10 days in Iceland, and like I really don't
know much about it.
Yeah, we still don't really know much. Like we know a lot about like the actual landscape. Yeah. Like, we check that. Yeah, but we don't know a lot about like the human aspect of Iceland. So it would have been neat to kind of engage the culture a little bit more.
So that's the end of our adventure.
End of 10 days. We are on the 10th day, and
bingo,
we all survived. No one died.
Bingo, my graduation party.
And after a lot of
and this is why. Be there or be square. Wait a minute.